that sense, right? That this painting was so crazy that they had to hang it high because people would try to attack the painting. And my thing about this painting is not so much that it's a naked woman. There are a lot of historical paintings during that time with naked women. But what is interesting about this painting is the black cat and the black woman in the background who's serving the flowers. Often in the beginning of photography and in painting during this time, black women, essentially what's happening in this painting is that the black woman, is representing the exotic. She's representing that white woman's sexuality. So she's not even able to possess her own sexuality. And that's why I think people wanted to attack the painting, because they had this black servant in the background, kind of exoticizing, creating a taboo image, right, for this prostitute. So that brings me to probably the worst painting I've ever seen in my life. This painting. And this painting is by, I think he's Dutch, Christian van Kovenberg. And it's called Three Young White Men and a Black Woman. And it was painted in 1632. Now the thing about this is that, we see lynchings, we see photographs of those things, we see historical representations through movies and film of racism, of slavery, but to see something in a painting, that really tells you, because these are things that people hung on their walls. These are things that some wealthy person paid for, and they put it up, and they had people come look at it. So this gives you a different idea about that time period and what was going on. But what's really what kind of just makes me go crazy is that the men are laughing. And something similar to this, which recently happened with Don King, is Donald Trump. And Don King, his dumb self, is, basically saying N-word, but you have these, I think it was Donald Trump and then three guys behind him, but they're all laughing. So you have something like this, which is similar but different because it's dealing with rape and molestation and a sexual history, but it's making fun of the black body, right? It's making fun at the expense of black people, right? Which we can see today through Donald Trump. So everybody and their mom need to get out and vote. The whole city of Detroit. But when I saw this, it made me, think about black women in history, about black women in images, about how black women are represented in painting, in media, in magazines. We have this. This was in 2012, and this is Caroline Wozniacki, I think. And the thing about this is it's complex, right? It's horrible, but it's also really interesting. Because during this match that she was playing, she was losing. She was losing really bad. And she decided, because Serena Williams is that deal, that she was going to make fun of her body, and she started to win. So there's something, and another tennis player who's a friend of Serena Williams, who's a white man, I can't remember his name, he did the same thing. A lot of tennis players around this time did the same thing. And Serena really didn't speak about it because what she wants to do is just show how great she is and win everything, and that's what she does. She needs a comment. But this is interesting because it shows at the same time that she's making fun of this black woman's body, she also admires this black woman's body. She admires what it does. She admires the strength that it has. And, it's horrible, but this inspired me to do this painting, which is called Posted. And the thing about this piece, I was going to do two separate ones because I was also thinking about Kerry James Marshall's Frankenstein pieces. He has two separate, it's like a black figure, a black man and a black woman. They're two separate paintings, and I want to combine that. But often what I want to do is not so much kind of parade around and make fun of the black body. I'm not for that. So what I wanted to do was make them turn around and kind of ignore the viewer. And Thelma Golden and Glenn Liebman came up with this term that we still use today, and a lot of people use it in the media, is post-black. This idea that we are in post-black times, whatever that means. So, I was thinking like, it's great for what you're thinking, specifically for art, because she's talking about, they're talking about, well, why can't we do things that are more out of the aspect of race? Like, let's, go beyond that. Or we can talk about that and consume it, but what's beyond that idea? But at the same time, living in this body, living in the state that we live in, I have to reflect what's going on. I have to talk about the issues that I consider really important. And what would you tell a kid? There's this idea of post-black. What would they think? What does that mean to a kid? Post-black, what is it? I'm not black anymore? I don't understand. So in the corner, there's a sheet of paper, and it says post-white enough. So I want to contrast, what does post-white look like? Let's talk about that idea. And essentially, I started playing a lot around with abstract colors and flat colors. I looked at a lot of Joseph Albers and wanted to see how I can kind of, the way jazz does, is combine elements that would not fit together, and they kind of work together in a way. So I wanted to talk about like how I can have the male body painted in a rough way, and the female body painted in a different way, and then have a flat space that can represent a mirror, represent a doorway, represent strictly color, and incorporate that into the piece. Then I did this piece, which is called Grisaille of Oshun. I was reading a lot. I was taking a class by Robert Farris Thompson at Yale, who kind of started pretty much a lot of African American history, started the field. Kira Jones, I think that's, no, Kelly Jones, who just received the MacArthur grant, was a student of his. But I looked a lot about Yoruba culture, and Oshun is a Yoruba goddess who is really nice, but if you make her mad, she don't play. And she's represented by water and blue. But I like the idea of having all these black women look at you. So essentially, every person in the painting, the woman who is sitting on the sofa represents Yoruba. The two magazines, one is Lena Horne, and the other one is, I can't remember right now, but Eartha Kitt. Yes, and then I also want to represent an element of Egypt. That's the first domesticated cat in the world. It's an Egyptian cat. I was thinking about putting a book in there, but I got tired of painting books. So I wanted the cat to represent Hatshepsut, which was a queen, but through history, she represented herself as a man for obvious reasons during that time, to be seen as, a powerful figure as well, right? So essentially, you have all these women looking out at you. Then I did this piece, which is called Together. And I wanted to talk about love. I wanted to talk about, all these human aspects that we experience, right? But I wanted it to seem like a moment that you kind of just happened in. You just open the door and, oh, hey, what's up? And in the background, you see a window, because I like to have elements where somebody can get inside the piece, but also sometimes has the opportunity to settle and escape. So that's why you see the window. Then I saw Django. I saw Django and I was like, man, I like that guy, but I hate him. Tarantino. Oh, man. So this piece was interesting because I went to the Yale Library and I did a lot of research on, before he started that movie, I was interested in this guy. Jim Brown, which was, he's a abolitionist. He kind of blew up the Harper's Ferry. He had some slaves help him. He got murdered. He was going to kill his sons if they didn't help free the slaves. But the thing about Jim Brown is that there was another guy, and his name was Dangerfield Newby. This is part of where Quentin Tarantino got his story. And that's what's called Django. Dangerfield Newby, short for Django. He had a couple of different sources, but I was like, if you want to tell Jim Brown's story, just tell it. Like, don't make the white savior story. Just tell, don't do that. So, but the interesting thing about Dangerfield Newby is that he was a slave who got freed. He wanted to free his wife and his kids. He tried to pay for them. That didn't work. He tried to steal them away. That didn't work. So he joined Jim Brown's, party, but he was the first person to get killed at the raid on Harper's Ferry. He was the first, person to get killed during that. And this essentially sparked the Civil War. One of the things that essentially sparked the Civil War. But in the movie, you see in that movie, there's dogs that's ripping up this body. I don't know if everybody's seen Django, and you don't have to. There's dogs in there that are ripping up his body, and that's what happened to him. After they killed him, they had dogs essentially rip apart his body and eat him up. So for me, I was like, it would have been more interesting if you just wanted to talk about Django, Dangerfield Newby, to tell his life, than to have a story that ends with Jamie Foxx killing the master, but that doesn't end slavery. There's other masters out there. So it's like, if you're going to have a fantasy, literally turn the whole history over instead of just partially do it. So that's why I was like, but this is so great because everybody's talking about this stuff. But this is so horrible because you did a bad job, but a kind of good job. So I was really interested in text. As you can see, I've painted books, I've painted letters. My grandfather is a sign painter, and he used to always tell me, like, it's so easy. And I don't understand how you do that. It's just, you got to go and do all those lines, and I didn't get it. But I found that I've got a lot more interested in words and how powerful they can be. So I started looking at Carrie Mae Weems' pieces and really intrigued by what she did with text. So that's why this piece, you can kind of see partial Django's face through the text of, I fucking hate Tarantino, I fucking love Tarantino. That's what that says right there. So then I did this piece, which you kind of can see, but you kind of can't see. But I wanted to do, I guess I'm all over the place. I do painting, I do sculpture. We're probably gonna work on some videos soon. But the text that's on that piece of plexiglass says, I really do like cops. I think they do a great job at teaching me how to proactively police myself. And, from my perspective, I've had a lot of interactions with police. I won't go through everything because it's really long, but I will tell you one story which kind of inspired this piece. I was at Yale, and when you're there, there's two schools that kind of stay the latest. There's the School of Art and there's the School of Architecture. They stay till like 3 in the morning, and because the way I paint, I'm probably there till like 2 or something, painting really late. People often saw me, staying the latest. But I live like right around the corner in an apartment. So I'm coming out the back gate, and I'm walking home. I literally live like 3 blocks from the studio. And I see a cop pull up, and I'm at the crossway of the red light. He pulls up, kind of slows down. I'm looking at him. I'm just walking. I'm like, I don't feel like it. I just not today. I don't feel like it. So, I'm like, nothing's gonna happen. So he keeps going, and then I have to turn the corner, and that corner that I turn, he goes straight, and he stops. There's a light right there, but the light is green. So I'm like, why is this dude stopping? So I'm just walking. I'm like, I'm not even going.